He's a terrifying enemy of G.I. Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name. G.I. Joe, American hero, fighting evil Destro.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle, and welcome back, my friends, to main character May.
Today, we'll be looking at Destro's character in the comic book.
It may shock you to learn that he's in quite a few of them. Strap in, folks.
He makes his debut in issue 11, and before we see him, Cobra Commander describes him as so: a specialist, a man with infinite finesse and a clear tactical mind. If I am the counterpart to G.I. Joe's General Flag, then he's the counterpart of Hawk.
Great praise indeed.
And the first we see of him is his ass.
That certainly is one way to introduce a character.
Okay, so I get that they don't want to reveal his face yet, as is clear in the next panel, but really, they could have picked a better shot than that. Also significant is that the Baroness already knows him, but it's not explained further here. They keep up not showing his face like he's Dr. Claw or something for the entire issue, and even for the next issue he appears in, number 13, where they keep him in the shadow. It isn't until issue 14 that we get a good look at him, on the cover no less. Yeah, this issue was called Destro Attacks.
So they had to, really.
We get some strange dialogue here between him and the Baroness, where he begs her to say his new name, which she does, Destro.
Even though that's always been his name.
I think it's explained later he called himself James McCullen and only recently embraced the old family name, but it's still weird. By the way, it's this early, just 3 issues after he's introduced, that he's plotting to overthrow Cobra Commander.
Dude doesn't waste time, does he?
I don't think he'd even finished his complimentary welcome to Cobra fruit basket before trying to take over. In this case, the plan fails because while he leaked the commander's location to the Joes, the Baroness was with him, so Destro had to haul ass to save them from the trap he had set himself.
Still, the tone was set for a rivalry that would last for the rest of this series.
Yeah, things get real Game of Thronesy real fast. The next move comes from the commander as he orders Major Blood to kill him, but this is thwarted by the Baroness, though she pays dearly for that. Presuming her dead, Destro goes catatonic and afterwards leaves for his castle to grieve in peace. Oh, he's in a few battles in between, but nothing really important for him. Though I cannot continue without first showing you this panel of him driving an ice cream truck into battle, because it is awesome.
No, you're not getting any context. Go watch my old comic reviews.
A good while later, he is delighted to find out the Baroness is alive, and is informed of Cobra Commander's plot to kill him. They immediately start planning to overthrow the Commander again. Honestly, if they put half as much effort into Cobra itself, they'd take over the world before breakfast. Anyway, this plan fails because of Zartan and Storm Shadow and stuff. Destro does more things then that aren't really important to the character.
Look, there's over 11 years worth of comics here, so I'm gonna gloss over everything that isn't significant.
Though I will say we see several times how sturdy that mask is, as Destro gets shot in the face more times than you'd think. The next significant thing happens in issue 33, where he unmasks in front of the Baroness to show how much he trusts her. This shocks her so much she faints.
Oh, come on, Baroness, he ain't that ugly.
Seriously though, she already knows what he looks like, so maybe she was overcome by that gesture or something. Ah yes, I haven't really mentioned it yet, but Destro and the Baroness are deeply in love, and it's the greatest romance in the G.I. Joe universe. Yeah, forget Scarlet and Snake Eyes, or Scarlet and Duke, or Scarlet and Ripcord.
Oh, really, we should all forget about that movie.
Destro and Anastasia is where it's at. We saw this when she saved his life earlier, and we'll see plenty more. Anyway, the other significant thing in this issue is that Destro stops attempt number 47 to remove Cobra Commander by thwarting an assassination attempt by Billy, the Commander's own son, as he draws the line at patricide, showing he has a sense of honor. He even defends the kid at his inquest, but it's a sham trial.
The next significant thing starts in issue 49,
where Destro helps Dr. Mindbender in the creation of Serpentor. This coincides with the Battle of Springfield, where he is in charge of evacuating the Cobra population to Cobra Island. He does this out of a sense of honor, not to take over, much to the Baroness's surprise. He even stays behind to save Serpentor, even though he doesn't seem thrilled with how much the Baroness has taken to him. I mean, just look at this panel. After the evacuation, Cobra plans an all-out assault on G.I. Joe headquarters, with the commander, fearful of losing Cobra to Serpentor, deciding to lead the assault himself. This impresses Destro enough that he joins him.
This proves to be a huge mistake.
as the Joes end up blowing up the pit with the Commander and Destro in it. They are presumed dead, but do in fact survive. They make their way out and by chance find Billy, who's in a coma. Destro gives the Commander some encouraging words and leaves them be. He returns to his home in Scotland, only to find an imposter has taken over. Saying that he's about through with Cobra anyway, he makes a deal with the Joes to get them the plans to the Terrordrome if they help him get rid of the imposter, which they do. He isn't seen after that for over 10 issues, but returns in number 69.
Nice!
He seems to have broken with Cobra completely and is doing what his first file card says he does, cultivating conflict and selling weapons to both sides. This is also where he reveals his own faction, donning his new Iron Grenadier look. And he shows this off during the Cobra Civil War, where the Joes are fighting Cobra and Cobra is fighting, Cobra, when he rolls up like a baller with his whole private army, and then just has tea on the beach, letting the other factions fight it out. He does end up taking the airport, but even that's done without much fighting. After everybody else is done and Serpentor lost by way of arrow to the eye, Destro rolls up to make his demands. All he wants is that Baroness and he'll leave. The Commander is happy to oblige, especially since Destro's army is fresh and complete, while everybody else has taken heavy casualties and are all tuckered out. So he won without almost firing a single shot.
Like I said, baller!
Ladies, if a guy races an army and invades a small island nation for you, that's a keeper. The Joes ended up on the losing side, making them an embarrassment to the United States, so some military higher-ups and a senator decide it was an unsanctioned rogue operation and place the Joes under arrest. This bullcrap doesn't sit well with Destro, so he comes in, once again as a baller, and in front of live TV hands the higher-up general proof he purchased the ammo for the Joes operation from him, proving the action was sanctioned.
After that, we don't see Destro until issue 87.
When Cobra Commander can't leave well enough alone and plans an assault on Castle Destro. What a coincidence, since the comic is called Assault on Castle Destro.
The assault on Castle Destro fails.
It fails so spectacularly, in fact, that Destro pretty much has the Commander by the balls. Also because he knows his true identity, and so de facto takes over Cobra. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but the guy in the armor isn't the real Cobra Commander.
It's not that important for Destro's story arc though.
Destro turns Cobra into an efficient money-making machine. The next part is more about the Baroness and Snake Eyes, who's so far been blissfully absent from this episode since he hasn't been relevant to Destro, though they did fight in the past. The Baroness learns what Snake Eyes looks like and thinks he's the one who killed her brother, so goes after him. They're both about to die when Destro swoops in like a...
Okay, you get it by now.
And explains it wasn't Snake Eyes who killed her brother, saving both their lives. This causes the Baroness to reevaluate her entire life, since this is why she became a terrorist and wants to leave it all behind. Destro, surprisingly, offers to do the same to be with her, giving up running Cobra, Mars, and even wearing his mask. Yeah, and this is the first time we see his face, so that's a huge deal. He and her pretty much retreat to his Scottish castle to live in peace, until issue 116, when Cobra Commander can't leave well enough alone and attacks the castle.
Oh, side note, this is the real Cobra Commander again.
This is a sort of 3-issue miniseries, but part of the main comic, called Destro Search and Destroy. Cobra destroys the castle and captures the Baroness, but Destro escapes. The Commander puts out a contract on Destro while also brainwashing the Baroness, so it looks like it's time for Mr. McCullen to take the cane out of the cupboard once more. He does so by getting a hacker to break into Cobra Commander's financial holdings and starts deleting money. The Commander folds like a guy who got dealt a 2, a 4, a 6, a Circle of Protection red, and a go directly to jail card in a poker game. With the Scottish castle in rubble, Destro demands the deeds to the Silent Castle in Transcarpathia as restitution.
Because I guess he really loves castles.
There's still the little matter of the Baroness being brainwashed, but it turns out Destro knew and still loves her, even offering to be put in the brainwave scanner, the thing that did that to her. That's kind of a trick, as he uses it to show her a memory of how much he loves her. Oh, while all that has been going on, Cobra has launched a failed attack on the castle.
Because have I mentioned that the Commander won't leave well enough alone?
After all that, Destro and the Baroness once again retire, using the castle that can transform into a more classical look as their home. Until issue 136, when Cobra Commander once again can't leave well enough alone. He attacks and takes the castle, imprisoning Destro and the Baroness, who were caught unawares.
Which is weird because you'd think they'd be used to it by now.
They escape their prison and then the castle with the help of the Joes. And not soon thereafter, he retakes the practically deserted castle. It's deserted because the Generation 2 Transformers have shown up, and Destro is noping out of that whole situation, once again living in peace with the Baroness.
And you know where this is going.
Yeah, it turns out Dr. Mindbender had inserted mind control implants in Destro and Zartan at some point in the past, but died before he could tell Cobra Commander.
He then got better.
Well, cloned really, and revealed this. It's triggered by the commander revealing his face to them, which basically factory resets them to the very first time we saw them, with complete loyalty to Cobra Commander. And this works really well on Destro. He even kills his own family, Darklon, and it remains that way for the rest of the admittedly short run of the comic book series.
That never sat well with me, nor did it with anybody else that ever read the comic.
Look, the brainwashing was always meant to be undone, but the series got cancelled before they could get to that. Later stories did put things right though. And that was Destro in the comics.
If I had to sum him up in one word, it would be honorable.
He went from a straight-up bad guy to an anti-hero over the course of the comic, and was always a pleasure to see.
He's also probably the most competent guy in the whole comic.
He wins almost all his battles, and is almost never outsmarted. He also knows when to cut his losses. If he had ousted Cobra Commander from the first try, Cobra would have won. His relationship with the Baroness is also one for the ages, and it drove him more than greed or power. Also, dear lord, do his castles get attacked a lot. It only becomes obvious once you go through the whole comic at once, like I just did, and focus on Destro, but he might as well have offered Cobra Commander a small cottage on his estate to launch his attacks from.
Talk about a neighbor from hell.
Overall, yeah, I think Destro might be my favorite character in the comic. The only sour note is the way he ended up, being brainwashed without a resolution as the series got cancelled.
I was hoping to also talk about the cartoon character in this episode, but I've run out of time.
So we're gonna have to save that for next week, as well as any flotsam or jetsam regarding the overall character I haven't mentioned yet. Oh, but what I can still give you today is his entire story arc in the G.I.Joe Retaliation movie.
Destro, you're out of the band.
There, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, boy did he get screwed in the sequel.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
He's a terrifying enemy of G.I. Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name. G.I. Joe, American hero. Fighting evil Destro. Introducing Destro.
Jesus, this is heavy. Ugh.